How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to more Steelrising beta. Wanted to showcase some stuff for you guys. So, some general combat right now, but a lot of stuff I want to showcase. I want to showcase some of the weapons, how stats affect. We got some stat scaling and whatnot on weapons. There's a lot of Soul's influence here, and I love it. So, let's get into it. So, as far as weapons go, I found this little beauty. It's a fire chain. As you can see, there is some power affinity and agility affinity and alchemy affinity scaling. So basically it gets a B right now at level 3 in power. Now, some of the starting classes have different stats, as you know, from other Souls games, and we'll go into that in a minute. So if I leveled up this up to level 4, it would actually get an A in power. So right now, this is my Dancer build, which is one of the starting classes, and the Dancer build has higher agility, let's see, higher agility and higher vigor, which vigor affects your endurance and physical damage inflicted on enemies. So this is a frost musket. Also has a shield for the special attack. This actually gets this is the only weapon that I've found so far in the beta that has an A scaling once you get it up to level 2 in alchemy. It gets an A scaling in that, and it actually, I'll show you one of the bigger enemies, somewhat bigger enemies. It will basically put a frost status on this enemy right away. Whereas before, with this build, it was taking multiple charged shots of this gun to put it into a frost status, which is kind of cool. And these Nemesis Claws, if you guys saw my other video on the initial impressions and my first kind of run through the part of the beta, I love these because they have a counterattack, so you can basically do a parry with these. They actually get an A scaling in agility now that it is leveled up to level 3. We have some Franklin Claws here. These are okay. These do like a lightning AoE. I haven't seen too much. These aren't too great so far. They get a D in alchemy, and like I said, most of the other weapons get a D so far in alchemy, other than that frost musket. But I'm sure there'll be other weapons in the game that will have better scaling as far as that goes. So definitely, if you're going with the Alchemist starting class, you want to be utilizing the frost musket since it gets that A scaling. And I did test on another character, the Alchemist character that I created, and even without leveling up the frost musket, the enemy that I mentioned, and I'm going to show you in a couple minutes here, right away, base level, it was putting that enemy in a frost state, because with the Alchemist you have higher alchemy stat. Moving right along, this wheel, this reminds me of the Ligarius wheel from Bloodborne. It's a heavy weapon, which I'm not sure. I don't see many things that. It seems like they swing slower, and there's no like weight, overburden kind of thing. From like that Demon Souls and Dark Souls have, and Elden Ring for that matter, where it would weigh you down and overburden you, and you wouldn't be able to use a weapon. But this is a heavy weapon, and it seems like it just generally swings slower. But it does get a B, at least right now, at level 1 in power. So if you're using the soldier class, has +3 for power at the beginning. and that affects physical damage and impact damage. Impact damage, I believe, as far as I can see, that is your ability to interrupt enemy attacks. So with that chain I was using, at certain points, if an enemy is about to attack you, and you hit them with your weapon, it will interrupt that attack, which is actually kind of nice. And then for you Dex users, we have the Falchion and Sabre. That also gets a C in agility. I haven't played around with those too much. I mean, I did a little bit. The tornado is kind of cool, but if an enemy smacks you in the middle of that, you're going to be flat on your face pretty much. So let's look at... So for the modules, I was able to unlock all the module slots in the beta. I did upgrade the first slot to level 2. And there are a bunch of other mods that you get through here, as you can see. Let's see. Yeah, look at this map. This map is insane. This game is going to be great. I can tell already. So as far as the stats, let's go over the starting classes. So if you go with the bodyguard class, that has a heavy weapon. It's called the Body of Work, and it has the ability to use like a shield, like a block kind of thing. But the only problem with that is that you're kind of in one spot, and you can't move around once you use that block. I can showcase that in a little bit. But as far as the stats go, you have a durability at +3 for the bodyguard class, and that increases health and balance. And they also have engineering at +2, which increases armor and effectiveness of alchemical afflictions and loot drops. So the alchemical afflictions, I would imagine, would increase how enemies are affected when you throw grenades and stuff like that at them, which, as a side note, the grenades in this game are absolutely insane. I would imagine that might get nerfed, but at any rate, for right now, it's pretty nice. So the soldier class has a heavy weapon as well, which is the Halberd. As I mentioned, they get power at +3, which increases is physical damage and impact damage, and vigor, which is increased endurance and physical damage inflicted on enemies. The fire chain would actually be really good here. As I mentioned, that gets a A in power at level 4. The special move on that actually does an AoE that knocks enemies back, and I can demonstrate that. The dancer class, which is this build, has, as I mentioned, has agility of +3, increases mobilization damage and physical damage. Now, the immobilization I will demonstrate as well. It's when you lock onto them, there's like a little diamond in the center, and as that fills up, that's their immobilization meter. So as you keep attacking them, if you're aggressive enough, that will fill up, and then it'll turn red, and you can do a critical attack on them. Whether that being R1 or R2, it will do the same critical attack, basically. And also for the dancer, they get vigor at +2, which again increases endurance and physical damage inflicted on the enemies. As I mentioned, the Nemesis Claws get an A in agility when they're leveled up. So those are nice here, but I'm loving that fire chain, honestly. So it has really good reach. So yeah. And then for the last class, the Alchemist, as I mentioned, actually gets elemental alchemy at +3. This increases alchemical damage and resistance to it, which is good. So the more you level that up, if you get hit with elemental attacks, that's going to increase your resistance to such damage. And then also the Alchemist also gets engineering and +2, which increases armor effectiveness of alchemical afflictions, and loot drops again. The fire chain would also be good here, but like I mentioned, it gets a D in alchemy. The Franklin claws get a D in alchemy. There's also frost fans, which I haven't really played around with yet. I think those get a D in alchemy as well. And you know, your best bet on the Alchemist is that frost musket, at least from a ranged option, and you know, dealing elemental damage to enemies. It also has the frost musket actually has a block as well for the special move, but that in testing that blows through your entire stamina bar, and I can demonstrate that. So let's go through and just kind of demonstrate the stuff I'm talking about here, so you guys can see this in action. So this is actually the end of the beta. So if you go in here and we travel, that would be it would say thank you for playing, we'll see you soon. So that's the end of the beta. So the guys that you saw at the beginning, me fighting, are just some basic guys. These guys are a little bit more beefy. These are like the ball bearing guys. They smack you with those balls, which is, let's see if I can. Yeah, so you get a charge. Yeah, see, I caused a frost status right away. He's taking damage over time too with that, which is nice. And let me do that. Now see, in that case, yeah, see, I didn't quite do that in time for it to interrupt his attack. Now, you see a couple things here. I'm not attacking him quick enough, really. He is taking damage over time from the fire, but I'm not attacking him quick enough for you to see that immobilization gauge fill up. But you do see the diamond there. That's what causes that to build up if you attack in succession. Let me see if I can sneak up on this guy. Oh, I might be able to, actually. Yep. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, you see how that's going up very slightly. Now, the other thing that's kind of a cool mechanic in this game. Now, you see what happened there? You see how I ran out of stamina, but there's above my health bar, there was a little frost indicator, and you saw it sparked on my back, and then some kind of like frost mist like on my back as well after that. So basically, when you run out of stamina, this is a very unique mechanic in this game. If you run out of stamina, you have the ability to do press triangle at the right spot if you're on PS5 and get your entire stamina bar back if you do it in the right spot. And it's considered rapid cooling. So if you do it at the right moment, like right there, I got all my stamina back. I'm taking a little bit of I get a little bit of frost status, but in my testing, you don't whip out your attacks fast enough to actually get that to proc twice in a row. So I would imagine if you get a full frost status, I believe you take damage over time, but in doing the rapid cooling stuff, I don't see you being able to whip out your attacks fast enough for that to happen, unless you're using unless there's like really heavy weapons that are gonna blow through your stamina really quickly. I don't really see that happening. So this game's been really fun. It definitely has a lot of Souls influence, and I'm loving it. I mean, you can see that from the fact that weapons do some scaling, and there's lots of. See, that's a charged R2. It's pretty nasty. Oops. Yeah, this one guy with the is a little more beefy, but there's lots of different attacks you can do. You saw me kind of do a cartwheel kind of thing. There's a backstep. There's a backstep move like that. There's a running attack. Kind of do a flip over. There's charged R2s. There's just the regular R2. Like, I mean, you see where all these influences are coming from, and I'm loving every minute of it. I mean, there's mechanical dogs in here. I mean, you gotta love that if you know anything about Souls, about Dark Souls, Elden Ring. I mean, the dogs are the bane of your existence, you know. There's also another. I'm trying to think where it is now. I'd have to go to another character to demonstrate that. There's a spot that looks like the bonfire in Yharnam at the very beginning of Bloodborne, which is great. Let me show off this wheel real quick. So you see how it's kind of very slow, swing around. That's the R2, and then the special, it's just like a spin to win. It's kind of cool. Like I said, it would probably be good on the soldier class. And then the Falchion and Sabre. I showed off that a little in my other video, which I'll have that linked in the description below, in case you haven't seen that. So there's that tornado attack, but like I said, you get that eats up a lot of stamina, and you get someone hits you during that, you get knocked out of it. So let's see, what else did I want to show you guys? Yeah, I mean, hopefully these got a lot of great weapons early on here. Hopefully this, all these drops and everything will be in the same spot when the regular game comes out. They have stated that your progress from the beta won't carry over to the regular game. I can see that happening, but at the same time, kind of hopeful that that might not be the case. Also, just like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and all that, you have items to increase the number of heals you get in your Estus flask. In this case, it's a little tank of oil, and as well there are items to increase the potency of your heals. I think that's really it, guys. I wanted to showcase. I can load up one of my other saves here and show you the other classes, the Halberd and the let's see. I don't know which one is which. Let's see what this one is. I mean, all these beginner classes are great, honestly, in my opinion. The Halberd was fun to use, and let's see, which one is this? Yeah, this is okay. So this is the soldier class. So we got the Halberd. Got just like straight thrusts, but the backstep. Yeah, the backstep has a nice little sweep, and then the charged R2. Yeah, it's just a big thrust. And the special on this. I think that's great. Like that, buddy. Ooh. So you see me using these, I forget what they're called. They're alchemical capsules, I think. So basically, these guys drop a lot of those things. Yeah, see it, and the ordinary oil vials. Those actually are a healing item that they drop pretty frequently, and you can get. They actually heal you over time, so just good to have extra heals. Let me go to the other character. But yeah, I mean, this game is. I'm loving it already. This game's gonna be great. The only issues that I've seen so far, the lock on is a little oversensitive, which is funny because the lock on in Thymesia was kind of finicky. Didn't really work well. This is kind of it works well, but at times it worked a little too well. It was flicking to. Yeah, see, this weapon is a big, heavy weapon. Does a lot of damage. This is the bodyguard class. So we got... Bang! Big smash on the charge R2. And then the shield on the special. Ooh. Has some good range. Except for that. But yeah, I mean, you guys get the picture. It's good stuff. Yeah, this is just showing you the... Yeah, see, now I didn't do that in time. See, look at all that time it takes to regenerate your stamina. So if you don't do the rapid cooling, that's a very, very handy mechanic. I did notice that if you're dodging, if you're in the middle of dodging, like let's see it, you can't do it. And then when you're running, let me get my stamina back. When you're running as well, you can't do the rapid cooling. Seems like it's only in combat. Yeah, that got it back pretty quick, but I wasn't able to press it there, but in combat, if you press it at the right time, which I didn't there. She was mid-animation. If you're done, I think it's pretty much like, kind of like an RNG thing. If you're done the, I shouldn't say RNG, like luck thing. If you're done your swing animation, like, yeah, see, that I wasn't done the swing. You have to do it at the right time. There we go. So yeah, well, I kind of did it at the right time there. I got a little bit of stamina back, but you get the picture. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I hope this helps you going into the release of the game, the launch of the game, and whether make a purchase decision, whether you're gonna actually buy the game and play it, and have fun, have a great time like I am with the game or not. Obviously, I'd recommend this for anybody that is a Souls player, loves the Souls games. Obviously, you're gonna have a blast with it like I am, and if you're not used to games like that, this might not be the game to be an entry-level game into that. But it does borrow a lot of ingredients from the Souls formula, so it's kind of up to you. But like I said, it's great. The minor problems I had, I was explaining before. The lock-on is a little oversensitive, and one time I did get a crash one time when I was doing a special move with one of the weapons, and another few times did have some frame rate dips. But I mean, that's to be expected. This is a beta. that's nothing that I would assume that would not be corrected in a day one patch or, optimization patch. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. More coming at you. Take care.